Thank you so much, Nompumelelo. So the rand right now, 14.48. It's a whole host of events, partly because of the looting and the protesting that is taking place, but as well as the COVID-19 numbers in South Africa that seem to be surging. Lots happening, but we'll touch on that just a little bit later on. But when we look at what was happening on the Asian side, those markets happened to rise with shares in Japan and China leading the gains regionally. When we look at the Nikkei, up 2.75%, Hang Seng up 0.8%. And from an economic perspective, news out of China is that the central bank announcing a 50 basis point cut when it comes to its reserve requirement ratio for all banks effective from July. Looking at European markets at this point, flat as markets await some kind of inspiration. Locally, a lot happening, but to get into some of that, we are joined by Gary Booysen from Rand Swiss. Gary, thank you so much for your time. Let's touch on the JSE. What do you make of the trading day so far? Gary, not sure if you can hear me, but let's touch in on the JSE. How's it performing?
Yes, I can hear you fine. So JSE, very mixed picture this morning. So we had the S&P 500 finishing, well over 1% up on Friday. We had Asian markets a little bit mixed today, but also looking like on the front foot, but we had the Dow futures coming off a little bit. And overall, we're down about 0.2%. So, if you look at all the news and the very graphic footage coming out of the riots, it's not making a huge impact on the overall headline number in our markets. But we are seeing it play out is in the financial index. So that's down around 1.47% compared to the industrial index, which is just counterbalancing that up about 0.4%. So the story today really is that you've got the likes of Mr. Price, Capitec, Standard Bank, Woolies, all of them down over more than 2%, all of them very locally focused companies. While you've got the likes of Prosus and Naspers up around almost 2%. Got Aspen up 1.6%, and then British American Tobacco and Richemont, which are both international counters that are traded on our local exchange, up about just over 1% as well. So a mixed picture, but it does seem like the Rand hedge stocks are doing a lot better than the South African Inc. segment of the market.
Right. So in light of what is happening when it comes to those COVID-19 numbers, and as well as, these sporadic protests taking place as a result of the looting as well in Gauteng and KZN, what's your range for the Rand at this point? I said 14.48 right now. It was 14.30 when we started the morning at around 8.30. Where are you seeing it at this point?
Yeah, so at the moment, we came in after the weekend, the Rand opens kind of in the wee hours of the morning, and we're at about 14.20 there. So we've lost almost 28 cents. Now, part of this is, I'm sure, the looting and the protests action that we're seeing today. It's made international headlines, so we're seeing some impact in the local currency. As I said, not too much in the overall number of the market, but for the local exchange, that's one of the things it has to contend with. The other, of course, is that we've got an extended lockdown for another 14 days. And as our pandemic numbers look worse and worse, this is something that the international, investment community pays specific attention to. At the same time, we've also got an argument that our interest rates are going to stay lower for a little bit longer. We've seen the likes of Mexico and Russia starting to increase interest rates. Given what's happening on the ground in South Africa, we can't see that as a viable...
Gary, we're going to catch up with you as the weeks unfold. U.S. earnings season is taking place, kicking off tomorrow. Lots to unpack on that particular front as well, as also monitoring what is happening when it comes to China and those big tech firms. So that is it for me from the JSE. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have more news for you.